Hey there, YouTubers. Welcome to the first edition of the Arctic Reptile Ranch from Arizona. I'm coming to you from the site of my first outdoor structure, the Tortoise Barn. I'm building it kind of from scratch, mostly from scratch. I bought this kit for framing. Unfortunately, the directions and the lengths don't match up, so I had to do my own math and recut all my boards, and I'm going about it a little bit differently. It recommends putting up a frame at a time. That's not going to work, so I'm building it from the ground up, and that's working out much, much better. When I'm finished with this, this is going to house my Galapagos tortoises, my radiated tortoise, and my Burmese star tortoises. On this side over here will be the pens for the radiated tortoise and the Burmese star tortoises. Back this way, coming out and over a little bit, this is where the galops are going to live temporarily. Eventually, they're going to have this entire back span is going to be all theirs. But right now, they're only this big, so they don't need all of that. I'm going to keep them where I can manage them a little bit better. Over here, I'll divide it because they're still fighting with each other. But eventually, this is only going to be the galop cage or the galop barn. And I'm going to build more radiated tortoise specific enclosures that way, star tortoise specific enclosures that way. I might build an outside pen for my pancake tortoises. And for my box turtles, I'm going to just build and build and build. I've been down here for about a week and I've already got this accomplished pretty much by myself. I had a little bit of help lifting the joists up, and I do have somebody bringing me water resupplies because it's hot down here. It is so different from Alaska. Our highs up there were 65. Down here, when I was out here, I had to quit at noon because it was 109 degrees, and that's really hot. I put a shirt on because I got a fair bit of sun, more sun than I've had in probably 7 years. I resigned myself to working in the early morning and the late evenings, like right now. I mean, it's gorgeous out right now. It's probably still in the 90s, but without that sun beating down on me, it's perfect working time. And the puppers is inspecting my work site to make sure everything's up to code. I don't know, is it all good? Is it good? Is everything good? It's all good? All right, good. Just making sure. This video has jumped from when I was just putting up the skeleton and the frame to now you see walls, and I've got the top roof ready for the green corrugated vinyl that's going up there. I've put these little things up there. They're called closure strips. They go inside here, and it's what the corrugated roof adheres to. You'll notice that there's some red paint around. Well, I'm at the point where I need to paint all of this before I put this roofing on because I really don't want to get any of the paint on this nice roofing. And the roofing that's going on this lower part here is clear. That's right, it's going to be a barn slash greenhouse so that in the wintertime it'll still be nice and warm in there to supplement the radiator that I have to put in there. I put that stuff away so that I won't get any overspray on it. Watch how easy it is to spray. This is a simple, cheap Wagner 250, a little power sprayer. It plugs in and it does an amazing job on its own. Let me put on my eye pro and my mask and we'll get started. As you can see, it's pretty easy to use this sprayer, and it puts on nice and even coats. I have to go over a few times because I'm going a little bit too fast because I'm running out of light. The one thing you notice is I pay a lot of attention to the edges, and even though there's going to be stuff over top of them, I want to make sure that this T111 fiberboard is sealed around the entire thing that could be exposed to weather. I'm going to finish painting, and then tomorrow I'll be putting on the roof. Here we are down on my tortoise barn, and I've got it to about a 90% solution on the outside to make it functional. I've already put one doorway in, and that's for Titan, the radiated tortoise. Tonight's project is working on cutting 3 more holes and putting the other doorways in for the Burmese stars and for the Galapagos tortoises. Over here, you'll see there's 2 slightly different size paddocks. I've got a 12 by 8 paddock right here. 18 feet by 8 paddock right here for the Burmese stars, and over here is an 18 by 12 for Titan, the radiated tortoise. If you come with me to the other side, you'll see that I have my Galapagos area divided. Unfortunately, those 2 are still bickering and biting at each other anytime I put them together. And I was really hoping to have just one big area, but for right now, they're both going to get a 12 by 24 area. And as they grow, as I've mentioned before, they're going to get the entirety all the way across the backyard. But that's something like a decade in the making. Now, one of the more interesting aspects of my barn that you guys probably noticed is I've put a green roof on top, but then I've put this clear stuff here. Well, the clear stuff makes it like a greenhouse in the middle of the winter, or actually, unfortunately, in the middle of the summer. It makes it a really greenhouse. Right now, the temperature is about 73, 74, but if you come over here and look at my temperature gauge in here, it's a full nearly 15 degrees hotter inside here. So what I'm hoping is the greenhouse qualities of this in the wintertime will keep this nice and warm, so I won't have to run the heater quite as often. Yes, it's close to 15 degrees hotter in here, so what about during the summertime? Well, I've thought of that, and I've got 2-part solution. Part 1 is the air conditioner that I've installed over there. Part 2 is reflective material that I'll put on the outside on the southern part. The sun is always about there to there, so the heat from the sun comes in from the other side. If I put up a reflective material over there, it'll keep the heat over here, but still allow some ambient light to come in through here so the tortoises don't mess up their circadian rhythms. They'll know when it's daytime, when it's nighttime, but it won't be too hot in there. I'll be able to keep it probably about 90 degrees in there, and that'll be good for them day and nighttime. Now, unfortunately, inside isn't quite done yet. I've got the stalls built on the inside, but I still have to do the walls and insulate everything. On the nice sunny days like this, I'll now be able to bring everybody out and let them wander around while I'm finishing the insides. In upcoming videos, you'll see what the inside of this looks like. It shouldn't take me much longer to get it done, but I also need to throw some clover seeds out here. There's an okay amount of natural foliage growing out here that the tortoises can eat. That's not toxic to tortoises, and it's actually quite healthy for them. They're outside, so I want to give them as much grazing opportunity as possible so that I don't have to feed them quite as much as I had to when they were living indoors all the time. So stay tuned for further episodes where I'll give you a full tour of the completed project.